Right, so the entry point we thought for the bees was down here, so we've removed several tiles going along, and what we found out is there's a load of this old disused cone. I mean, it's ancient cone, literally. It's no good to man or money. So we presumed that this was the area. So we've excavated along, removed several tiles and some of the felton, and we haven't found any cone at all. Now, the last bit we found was up here, which was fresh cone. So this is fresh cone. It's been built in the last 3 to 6 months, and you know, it's almost like a wafer, it's crumbly. But my concern is that obviously the 2 colonies that we've removed, the one over in the corner over there had about 20 kilos of honey in it, and there was about 2,000 bees. The one that we removed from the air brick, you know, there was about 3,500 bees in there, but there was only about 2 kilos of honey. Now this one here, as you can see, there's a couple of dozen bees. Considering I've just broken into their house and bashed through the door, I would expect to be swarming around with bees by now, but I'm not. So my concern is either this colony may be a dying colony, and I think it may be a dying colony because it's suffering with what they call brood blood. So brood blood affects the developing larvae inside the hive. So when they mature and become adults, they are prone to a bacterial or viral disease, which can actually wipe out the colony itself over a period of time. And I think this is what this has suffered with. Now, I don't think we're going to save many bees today, but I need to save some so I can take along to a beekeeper to find out the reasons why this colony is failing. I mean, it's not just necessarily about saving bees. We want to save bees, but we also want to find out why the bee colonies are dying out in England, because they're important to the survival of humans. You know, they're the biggest pollinator of plants and vegetables in the world. So without them, humanity dies. So it's important to find out what's going on with them. So we've gone all the way around the corner on this side, and as you can see, there's some cone in here. Now you can see that there's bees flying around me. I've got no protection on at all on my hands or on my face. Now, if this was their colony, they would come out and they would be attacking me now, protecting themselves and protecting the colony. And as you can see, I'm holding a bit of cone. Nothing, absolutely nothing, which means these bees have been attracted here from a different colony. So somewhere on site, there's another colony of bees, which is what, and all these are doing is they're coming out and chasing down the honey. If you think about it, to create 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey, it takes one bee 500 trips to a flower. So if they can get honey in its converted form, it saves them the 500 trips, which is why these are all around here. They can smell the residual honey left in the cones, but as you can see, there's no honey in these cones. So this colony has failed. I think it's been down to brood blood, which I mentioned previously in the last video, which may account for why there was so much lack of honey in that one over there as well. That the colonies were trying to feed off one cone of honey from one colony, and 2 colonies were trying to feed off it, which, you know, then obviously creates a little bit of a war between the 2 of them, because obviously they don't get on as neighbours. But yeah, so this one's definitely a dead colony. So there's no bees saved today, I'm afraid. That's a swarm of bees. Wow. That's a swarm of bees. Yeah, don't go near them, they will. Yeah. Wow, look at that. They're looking for a new colony. No, that's a swarm. So that there proves, yeah, you know why? They can smell the honey, or any traces of any honey that's left in there. Wow, look at that. Right, so we've just finished dealing with the third hive.
Stay here.
And we've just noticed this. So there's a swarm just appeared. Wow, look at that. So what happens with the swarm is, at the beginning of the year, around about the February, the old queen lays 3 eggs. They're new queens. Now, one of them generally doesn't survive, and the 2 that do survive will duke it out until one wins, and they'll become the new queen of that colony. At that point, the old queen leaves, so she'll go outside, and then half the hive generally will follow her, and she'll fly off and find a new place where to set up a colony. And as you can see, they're all swarming around that edge right there. So that could be potentially a new home. So we'll soon find out in 24 hours. So generally, what will happen is the queen will land because she's really tired. And then the rest of the bees will all gather around her like a football type shape or like a rugby type shape to protect her. Now, she will normally wait a couple of hours, get her breath back basically, and then she'll fly off. So that process normally takes between 2 and 20 hours, depending on how tired she is, etc. Now, if she doesn't fly off in 24 hours, it means that she's found a new home. Right, so that again proves what we'd said earlier on about the bees that were in the 3rd hive, the actual colony that was dead, which was located up over there, because there was some bees on the outside that had come from a different colony, and I'd shown that in the video where I'm not wearing a suit and they're not attacking me, and I'd mentioned that, you know, within a 50-meter radius there was another colony. Now that colony now has swarmed, and what you're seeing now is the swarm, and they're looking for a new place to live.